So something you see with reasonable regularity in customs is a moving tiger. So what do I mean by that? Well, imagine you have a tiger behind a leopard, and then you put onion on the tiger, and then you might have, say, vulture in the back line. Now, I don't see too many vulture leopard teams, but you get the idea. The tiger will make the leopard shoot again, and then when it's time for it to move to the front, it will go to the back, and then the tiger can work on whichever unit is in the back line. And there are lots of different variations on this. I guess the more common example would be something like tiger panda behind warthog or lionfish. You know, a pet that will multiply its ability based on attack, and then the panda is just going to remove itself from battle and therefore allow the tiger to kind of slide forwards and apply its ability to the pet in front. Now, there are some quite complicated teams you can make where tiger will work on 3 pets in battle. It might be possible to do more than 3. I've never really spent much time on it. But since tiger isn't one of my favourite units and Albatross is, what we're going to do today is try and apply the same principle with Albatross. Now, obviously this is going to be a lot more difficult because Albatross will only work on units from tier 4 or below. So we get our first one here, or maybe we get more than one here because we get the hoopoe bird and the pygmy hippo. I think I did play some games where I was using hedgehog as well, but ultimately it was, I think, proving too much of a liability, so I switched over. We've also got fruit fly in the shop there, although I don't think I'm going to use it in this run. So ultimately the goal will be to have Albatross in second position. It will work on the hoopoe bird, and then we're going to have a start of battle sniper in the middle of the team. And then we'll put onion on the Albatross, and then once the hoopoe faints, the Albatross will slide to the back of the team and then hopefully activate on the pygmy hippo as well. Now in practice, this is not particularly good, of course. Until Danger Pack came out, there weren't really very many, if any, units that I can think of that would have benefited from Albatross with a sniping ability in the backline. You know, like we mentioned already, Vulture, it wouldn't work anymore. In the olden days when Albatross was actually Wolverine, it would have worked, but not anymore. However, I guess there's Iguana. Iguana is one that you could have potentially used. But of course you are a little bit reliant there on the opposing team actually having some summons. Or actually pushing them during the battle, which kind of complicates your team composition quite a bit. As I go and spectate this level 3 1818 Patagonian Mara on turn 7. So yeah, Albatross clearly used to be way stronger when it would work, when old Wolverine would work on any tier. But yeah, at least with the restriction on it, you have to get a bit more creative. So I don't think Iguana was even in this pack. And I had done Albatross Bombus Dalbomi not too long ago, so I didn't want to use that again, which is why we've ended up with Pygmy Hippo. There is also Blowfish there, which would have been a possibility. I didn't freeze the onion in the shop there, as we actually face Iguana. I didn't freeze the onion in the shop because we don't have the Albatross yet, and I'd rather just leave the shop open for chocolate or, you know, other decent foods. And then we can look for the onion at the very end. I think oftentimes when you're going for a team that involves onion, taking the onion as late as possible is probably the best way to go about it. So we find the Albatross here on the level up, get the EXP from the alpaca, and then I'm just going to take the golden beetle to carry some gold into next turn. Kind of an unusual looking team here where they've got the one of the goats but not the other one. Would be interested to know what was going on there. And I think I'm just going to keep leveling the platypus. A big problem with this team, if we don't have a summoning pet like platypus, is that the pygmy hippo will often not get to shoot, and therefore the albatross won't do anything. So taking a summoning pet and then putting mushroom or popcorn on it is pretty much necessary. Pretty funny team here with triple Caladrius there. I don't know, there must have been something in the air on this particular day because everyone was going for odd looking teams. So we got a cat, and I'm going to take the onion now. Yeah, I just want to take the cat, I think, for one turn to buy the celery and give the albatross some survivability. Of course, Quetzalcoatl can also give experience to the pygmy hippo, so that worked out pretty well. To be honest, pygmy hippo probably doesn't really need any buffs from albatross, but we can see it working here. The only thing is we're missing our sniper in the middle, so we need to find something pretty quick, and I don't think fruit fly is going to be it. We take the level up, and I think I'm just going to greed for the experience on the hoopoe bird. Double cat is just so tempting, but is that what's going to happen here? Yeah, and then I actually use the celery as well, which is super strange. Generally, if I'm watching these replays back, I can tell that it was a pretty painful process trying to get the recording, because normally I would not bother with cat, initially at least, and then ultimately the cat generally gets brought in if I'm struggling. So look at the damage there from pygmy hippo. Pretty nasty. So maybe actually the albatross buffing it did matter there. So now we can sell the cats, bring in the cat. Probably should have sold the mongoose as well. Now I can't remember if I actually end up using the cat here. There were definitely some games where I went for level 2 cat and then just didn't find any food and just had to sell it. Quite a lot of people playing these tardigrade plus racket tail teams round about this time of recording. And yeah, we are going to replace the pineapple with mushroom. And yeah, peach, not going to cut it. So yeah, I definitely just wanted the cat here almost exclusively to buff the albatross and try and make sure that it doesn't get sniped. I think here we're going to end up losing, yeah, for sure. Manticore plus Red Dragon. I feel like that was in a video the other day and I was not too happy about it. You know, maybe we're going to be able to scrape a draw? No, it is going to be a loss. Of course. So we got the lynx as well. I think here I should probably just buy the peach. Yeah, buy the peach and then get rid of the cat. Okay. Looks like I'm going to keep the cat for one further turn. Definitely a sign of desperation. Triple scalar team with tier 1 and a random unit probably means this is an achievement squad. And although the pygmy hippo does a lot of damage there, we're never going to get past the 50-50. And now we bring the lynx in, so we're finally going to actually have 3 pets using the albatross's ability. Wow, another absolutely massive team. I feel like we're about to lose our last heart to spare here. Yeah, again, the pygmy hippo does huge damage, but pretty tough to compete against the... was that double dragon? And I think I really just want to roll a mushroom here for the platypus. Here's Trout Girl, aka Porta, with the Moby Dick. Don't see that very often. Actually, Porta, you can let me know in the comments if you did get the Moby Dick achievement there or not. So turn 19, 1 heart remaining, 1 trophy required. We get the mushroom for the platypus. And then I also luckily get the pineapple for the lynx. And it's a full level 3 roll team as an opponent. But the coconut is completely wasted on the wildebeest there. And massive damage from the pygmy hippo. The albatross only gets to go once on the pygmy hippo, You would really have to face a summon team, I guess, to be able to trigger it twice. But there we go. There's Albatross working on 3 different pets in one battle. Let me know if you can think of a team where you could get it working on more than 3 separate units.